Hello people, my name is CloudStalker and this is my perspective on Halo Infinite multiplayer from someone who's never actually played any Halo multiplayer modes before. However, yes, I have played and tremendously enjoyed Halo campaigns back when I was a kid. Though for many varying reasons, I've actually never played multiplayer games on the Xbox, as I would generally use my PC for most of my gaming needs, and I still do that. So, with Halo Infinite finally launching on PCs, I've finally decided to try it out. I know many of you will point out that the Master Chief Collection also launched on PCs, albeit some years ago, but it's just not the same thing as launching something from the very get-go, and experiencing and seeing it grow with the community is, to me, a completely different thing. And as is with most multiplayer games, the community is the most important aspect. I also want to add that I was not hyped about this game prior to it releasing. In fact, I didn't even know when it was launching. I just suddenly read an article saying, Halo Infinite multiplayer is live now. Their stores near you, to Steam or that other store that nobody really cares about. The Windows one, yeah. And here I am. Once you start the game up and you get greeted by Halo's epic classic soundtrack that we all know and love, that just raised the bar for me. I was suddenly a 15-year-old kid again, who just got his Xbox 360 to play Halo 3. And I just couldn't hold back my excitement. I wanted to have fun in this game. I mean, I really wanted this game to be fun. After soaking in that graceful intro, I went into my settings, pushed everything to the max, and just went straight into a game. No tutorial, no nothing. I wanted to experience something. I wanted to see or feel the energy in the air in the most raw and pure form that I could. And right off the bat, I just sucked. I didn't understand the combat systems too well. I was seeing different going Spartans left and right, not knowing what that even meant. I didn't even know if they were powering up or losing power, what's going on. What does the primary assault rifle even do? It just felt super weak. It felt like having an SMG in your hand, to be honest. I had no idea where people were getting majority of the guns from that I was occasionally seeing on the opponents or my friendly's hands. And there seemed to be a huge, and I mean huge, emphasis on melee within this game. And so basically I had no idea about the maps. And to top it all off, I didn't even configure my keybinds or my sensitivity yet. So I simply just left and started tweaking those out first. Can you believe CTRL was used for crouch? Who even does that? I mean, I know most of you do, but that's not my thing. After configuring my settings based on my apparent immediate needs, I decided to go into a 12v12 or the big team battle mode. Regardless of everything I've said so far, I love the game. But I still suck at it, which is to be expected as I'm pretty much a newborn baby cub among a pride of seasoned killers. But I appreciate the mechanics the 4v4 mode has to offer, but it still left me with a lot of things to be desired. Remember, I wasn't here for a competitive experience. At least not yet. No. I wanted to see something epic. I wanted something that would just blow me away. What I wanted to witness was utter chaos. And I can tell you quite faithfully, I was not at all disappointed. Whoa! That was impressive. This was the mode that truly lit a fire within my heart. Halo's big team battle maps were smaller than what I expected, but it actually made more sense. The map design, which by my standards was pretty good, had even footings for both teams in the beginning, and it came in the middle in such a way that the battlefield would force points of conflict for both teams. I love this sort of map design more than the abstract map design some games opt for, where the balance of power is awkwardly one-sided due to one side possibly having a height advantage. Thankfully, Halo doesn't do this, as far as I've seen, but I can understand the charm of those maps too when done right, as such maps are normally deployed when both teams get to switch sides eventually. Now, all of a sudden, I was being pushed into an array of things, but in a way that wasn't really overwhelming me. I was able to learn and appreciate so much more about the game. This may have to do with a couple of factors here. For one, there were 11 other members besides me in the team, and this really allowed me to breathe in my own space and learn about the different guns that were seemingly placed in a better way. They were more accessible and easy to find in this mode. Besides the basic warthogs at our base, other vehicles are also found in the battlefield by basically being dropped down by an airship or a pelican, as it's famously known. In an opportunistic way, they're basically dropped at certain fixed points on the map, one for the opponent, one for you, and one neutral vehicle that drops from time to time. And this is pretty good, because you guys know the tactics. You aren't new to stealing or sabotaging the enemy vehicles. It's an all in all, it's a good scenario.
Let's go, man.
Now, facing multiple opponents with a wide selection of nades to me was incredible fun. I can imagine this to be annoying for many players, but I for one embraced this destructive force with open arms, because what's there not to like? Everything goes boom boom. But other than that, basic power-ups were pretty fun too and pretty unique, and the power-up that I personally loved the most in the 12v12 mode was the grappling hook. It just made the game so much more fun. It reminded me of Pathfinder from Apex personally, however it seemed to fit so well in Halo. It brought about so much flavor to the game, and I try to get it every chance I get. In fact, I think I've memorized every single position or location you can find it on most 12v12 maps. It just changes the whole game for me. Now, what I truly enjoy about this game is something that everyone who knows me personally knows I talk about a lot. Objectives. I love objective gameplay, and almost all of Halo's game modes are objective based. Unlike other shooters where the only way to win is either to eliminate the enemy or complete the objective, in Halo you can only win if you complete the objective. Killing your opponents obviously helps you, but it doesn't give you an outright win. But the only exception being Slayer mode, obviously. To me, this makes the game a whole lot more fun. Trying out different tactics every single time while the opponent tries to foil each attempt you try to do, or try something similar. Oh man! Of course, this, again, like I said, depends on the game mode. Slayer is the only game mode which has its own thing. It's kind of like Team Deathmatch. But most game modes in Halo are set in this light. You can't die and be stuck spectating your teammates to see if they can or can't finish the job. That sort of game mode has its own charm. Believe me, I've been a part of that for a long time. The whole famous plant the bomb or search and destroy thing. I've been there, done that for well over 10 years now. But Halo's modes are truly refreshing to me in that regard. But it doesn't just stop there. There are tons of other games that try to do the same thing. They push in objectives into their game design. But they have so many other issues that I'm personally not a fan of. Where again, Halo shines, and I'm gonna talk about the whole special hero, champions, or class system. This thing really rubs me off the wrong way. And a good few examples of that would be Overwatch, Valorant, or Apex. Their characters have their own hitbox, their own unique abilities that can quite easily change the tide of battle. Halo doesn't do that thing. It has its own classy thing where you have special weapons or special abilities that spawn across the map at fixed locations again, which are accessible to everyone at a given moment. These weapon abilities have very limited ammo and stacks, which make them very balanced in my eyes. You can't use them for prolonged periods, at best 30 seconds. Well, the power-ups last a lot longer, but they're very well tuned, and based on how quickly you use them, you're gonna run off pretty easily. So together with everyone having the same hitbox and virtually having access to the same abilities, power-ups, and special weapons, which again have very limited use, Halo puts itself in a very good competitive spot that makes it super fun to play. Yes, I am one of those people that really cares about hitboxes in a shooting game. It makes a ton of difference. But that isn't the only thing that rubs me off. It's the fact that the class system thing always has a meta in place. And thankfully, Halo won't have that. Now that I've actually come to grasp the combat system within the game, I actually began to appreciate the 4v4 mode way more than I originally did. Because now I was done with chaos and wanted more of a competitive experience. Hence, I started playing ranked games a lot more than I initially thought I would, as the game generally feels great.
Whoever took my shotgun, I'm gonna tell mom.
Capture the Flag being absolutely phenomenal. It's probably the best implementation of Capture the Flag that I've probably played in any game, with Oddball just being, as the name suggests, quite odd to me. There are quite a few things that I don't like or would like to see changed or revamped within the game. but this video would get a tad too long for that, and I wish to treat this video as my first initial reaction to Halo's multiplayer rather than a full-on review. I do still, however, plan to make a second video for all the things that I do think Halo needs or I think they are missing from a basic shooter. One easy example would be a ping limiter or a server selector. I literally played more than half of my games in 200 ping, and that honestly is not an enjoyable way to play any online game, let alone an FPS one. I am still new to the world of Halo multiplayer and learning new things every single day. For instance, just yesterday I learned that Wasps and Banshees have secondary weapons. And honestly, even now, I have no clue as to when the Wasp spawns on this location on the map. It's literally just magic at this point. I also want to note that as with most free-to-play variant games, Halo will definitely need to add tons of other modes and events along the way, and I'm genuinely hoping to see some cooler features. The current ones are a bit dry for my tastes, and honestly the cooler gear or the color schemes are also not something I'm very excited about. The esport colors are definitely something that I really like, but it's a true shame that we can't edit the armor. I mean, that's the only reason I've been holding off to buy one of those. Plus, it's a tad pricey. I mean, it's pretty pricey. $10 is quite a bit. So, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to watch any other videos. Thank you for watching. I pray you all have steady aim. Take care.